I
then
think that
I'll.
the back of the van's probably been cleared out for the purposes of monster hunting. At
Mhm.
this point, it's probably equipped with the sort of things that one needs to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll unroll the carpet, and instead of trying to, I guess so far all of my magic powers have been mostly like kind of like psychic slash telekinetic in nature for the
Yeah,
most part.
but it's not necessarily strictly limited to that.
Okay.
Um, you know, you might want to think about like the question of like where your powers come from, and that
Hmm.
might be a branch for you to expand on what's possible.
Okay. Um, well, what I was gonna try and do instead of breaking the crystal, I guess, because I assume that the interior is probably still fairly pliable. It's not necessarily hardened all the way through, because if she's in there, something would have to be. I don't know. That's just
Yeah,
my thought.
uh, uh,
Um,
yeah. On closer examination, you see that this cocoon thing and her are like becoming more and more intertwined,
okay.
and that like she's connected to it, and it's connected to her, but
Right.
you think that it may not be too late.
Okay.
Hey, wait,
Um,
Hello.
Sam just popped in Discord. Hi,
oh, you
Sam.
did?
I did.
Cool.
Burning data
All right. Well, let's
like
do
no
that.
one's business, but here I
What?
am.
Well, I mean, the voice is not that data intensive, honestly.
Okay.
Been a while since we had the Discord jam going.
So Sam, we're
Yep.
in the back of a van with candles and an unconscious teenage girl.
Good. As we should be.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you need to know. I kind of rolled back a tiny bit and just said that Vinny, the boyfriend who you guys got kind of your ass kicked by, he's not going to stay stuck forever. And you hear like a shriek calling for like reinforcements.
Mm.
And this little cocoon thing that you have that has the girl inside of it, there's some amount of like it's connected to the girl, and the girl's connected to it. And you think that and it's like kind of glowing, so you think that whatever entity this is, it's connected to this thing. So yeah, Sam, they told you to drive the van. We're gonna get out of town, try to come up with a plan.
Okay.
And now is the time to come up with that plan.
So we have the unconscious girl in the back of our van.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
And she's the Rose daughter.
Yes, Angela Rowe.
Great.
Yeah. So we don't know what happened to. What's her name?
Fanny.
Fanny. Okay.
Um,
Do we have the proper Britney Spears song ready for the incantation?
Yeah, I think we landed on toxicity.
Toxic. Yeah, toxic.
Toxic.
Yep.
Good.
I was gonna say, like, we either should we focus on getting her out of this crystal thing, or should we somehow use, like, I was thinking I might be able to use magic in a way that I try and kind of tune into the connection that this object has with the basically the thing that we believe is causing all of these all the problems. So just
Yes.
going straight back to the source, or do we try and get her out, which I think will invariably probably attract something else to us, not necessarily the thing that we're.
And you're also not sure that if like you think that there's still time to get her out, but not an unlimited amount of time, and it's not without risk to remove her from this thing.
Right.
So it's kind of a scenario of either save her or figure out the link to the source.
They're
Either
not
or.
necessarily mutually exclusive, but the clock's ticking for sure on what you want to do with this thing, and what you want to prioritize.
I say we drive while we conduct the ritual.
Yeah, definitely.
Since the girl is limited time, I say we kind of set priorities on that. Try
Okay.
to
Right.
figure out.
I guess it would depend on how long, like if we wanted to if I just wanted to sort of like get some kind of information, like as far as maybe like a location or some more information about the connection,
Mhm.
how long that would take, and then once I've done that, maybe I can then get her out, or I could possibly glean both sets of information at the same time.
I would say that, you know, doing that kind of investigation does take some time and energy as you
Right.
sort of try to tap into that.
Okay.
That, you know, you could do both. And if you did that first, then the consequences of failure might be more severe.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of being able to do both as long as you're willing to take the chance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, like,
Rolled
I'm assuming
intense.
she is. I'm assuming they are turning her into one of them at this. That's what this process is. That's what I think is happening here. Because when we went to the house last game, like it seemed like the daughter was fairly normal-ish. She at least like
Yeah.
came up and like asked who the mom was talking to and wasn't acting fucking weird like the mom was.
Mhm.
So I think that's what I think this process is. I think that she's being turned into one of them right now. So I think priority should probably be to try and stop that, because otherwise it's just one more of these things that we have to deal with.
Sounds good.
And she's in our van also, so
She is in
Right.
your van. I think the other thing I'll point out is that they seem to be like, yeah, performing some kind of an activity where, you know, they had cocooned her up and they were like, they had like a spot in the ground they were going to put her.
yeah.
And that they were all kind of like defending that area, and yeah, make of that what you will.
Yeah, so even if we don't get like links or anything like that, we can always kind of pick up the investigation of that stuff back at that house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a good. So yeah, I'll start doing performing some kind of ritual where I'm trying to the purpose of the ritual is to create almost like a cloaking effect, like a sort of distortion effect around her, like psychically, that the connection that is tying her back to the source. I want to try and cut off that connection in a way. So hopefully the crystal just sort of it ceases functionality, and then at that point we're able to just either break her out of it, and it's not hopefully not as damaging, but trying to basically sever that connection so she can't get like, you know, all the uploaded information she's getting right now.
Right.
Okay.
In my head
Okay.
canon, when you do this kind of stuff, Dan, you wear a purple turban.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Also, Jason P. Bourne would lean back and go, "So you need to be singing the Britney Spears song "Radar" if we're trying to break this tracking device."
I'm not
Toxic.
familiar with that one.
I'll have to YouTube
Well,
that one.
Yeah, let me let's see here.
in the mood.
Let's give that a quick listen.
Oh, he's got the cassette. He pops it in. It's cassette.
Okay, cool.
So while Jason P. Bourne is driving, Bryant, you have the opportunity to help out with this ritual. So if I forget if you have weird as well, correct?
Let me open up my character sheet. This Britney Spears song's playing it.
So your other option would be, so you can also roll cool to help out another hunter. I don't know if that's better or worse for you, Bryant.
One got -1, cool.
All right. So yeah, if you, I mean, there's also the potential that Principal Dandelions just says, "Let me do this." So it's up to you guys if you want Bryant to help and potentially give you a +1, but he could also screw you over.
That's true. What do you? So what he would be rolling weird also?
Yeah, he could. I would allow him to roll weird to participate in the ritual and give you a +1, but he's at +0.
Oh, okay.
So he's at,
So basically, even if I do really well, if he fucks up,
well, he'll give you like a -1.
he would just give me a -1 if he messes up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless he's like really screws the pooch, but.
Yeah. Why don't you help out? I think that's probably.
Okay. So like, what would I have to roll to get him a +1?
So you just need to roll weird and get 7 or higher.
Boom.
8. Well done, sir.
All right.
Oops.
Okay.
Sam, you still with us?
I am.
Cool. All right. So Ryan, why don't you give me a weird with a +1 there? As nice.
All right.
So you get a strong.
So weird up in here.
It's
so
super
weird.
super duper weird up in here. All right. So you're looking to sever the connection with the source here.
Yep.
All right, and so you're I can imagine. What do you imagine how that manifests, Ryan?
I think he probably he sits down on the floor of the van, and he pulls out from one of his blazer pockets. He pulls out like a tattered old like book of Sudoku, and he just starts doing Sudoku, and that's kind of how his powers kind of manifest. It's just by the arcane mathematics of Sudoku, and as he's like solving things, and that has an effect on, like, I guess whatever his intention is.
So you go through and you close out the rows and columns of this connection, and you definitely sense that it has a powerful force that is on the other end of this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hard at work at closing off these connections. In the meantime, Jason P. Bourne, you reach the outside of you reach the edge of town, and you hear a siren whoop whoop behind you as a cop car pulls onto the road. A sheriff's car pulls onto the road behind you guys.
No, keep driving. That's what you hear. That's what you hear from the back. Is as I'm doing this, I say, "Nope, keep driving."
You're busy. You're busy.
As soon as I hear the siren,
you're deep in the astral world, Mr. Dandelions.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
In the world of Sudoku.
Yeah.
The astral
man.
Sudoku plane.
This is gonna go so bad if we get busted doing a ritual on this little teenage girl. So we're gonna do the O.J. Simpson strategy.
Yeah, just drive very slowly, but don't stop moving.
Right. We're gonna go. We're gonna scale it back down to a cool 40 miles an hour and just not stop.
Just a low speed chase.
All right. So I guess I'm gonna have Jason Bourne roll cool. I can click it for you, Sam, if that's convenient.
Do any of us have like above 0 cool?
I don't think so.
We are not cool, dude.
Actually, no. I have
minus
I have a
one.
one. I have a 1. Principal Dan's pretty cool. He was a cool principal. You wanted to see when you got in trouble.
I have a -1 cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Jason P. Bourne rolls a 5.
Yeah.
So you try to get involved in a slow speed chase while the ritual goes on, and you get down the road, and you turn onto the highway, and you see a second sheriff's car parked across the lane. And they're like flashing lights at you, and there's about 100 feet. You need to like stop or else.
What should we do, Jake? Should we punch it?
Ramming speed. Don't stop for the man.
All right, we're gonna slow roll ramming speed the cop car. Like,
Because we know those cops are really just skin changing alligators from podcasts.
that's right.
Do you know that?
They haven't shown us otherwise.
Guilty until proven innocent. That's our plan.
Yep. Monster until proven otherwise.
All right. Well, in that case, we will. Yeah. I guess you can make another cool roll, and but if you do take this action and ram in the wrong way, you know that there's going to be pretty serious consequences for potentially you, the police officers, the law. There's a lot of bad things that could happen if this goes wrong.
Only one of us is wearing a seatbelt also.
Yeah, you think you look back into the back of the van and you see everyone back there just sort of sitting on the ground, and if you do even a medium speed collision, you may throw them out the front windshield. So yeah, that's where we're at this point.
Should we swerve?
Go off road.
Off-roading will be also pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get very far off road. Like if you swerve off road, like you can come
Like
to a
dense
rocky
forest.
stop.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So, how long do you think it, Jake? How long till he's done? Is he almost done?
He seems pretty successful so far. He only needs about 3 or 4 more squares to fill in on the Sudoku puzzle.
Yeah, but you also know that he's severing the connection, but she's still in the chrysalis, and we haven't addressed that issue yet.
Don't we have? Okay, let's see. I have all my janitorial cleaning supplies in the back.
Let's see. Let's look at your skills here, Sam. You have the power of heart. When fighting a monster, if you help someone, you don't roll cool. You can automatically help them as though you rolled a 10. You have trust me. When you tell a normal person the truth to protect them from danger, you can roll charm, and try to convince them of stuff. And then you also have don't worry, I'll check it out. Whenever you go off by yourself to check somewhere or something out, mark experience.
Wow.
Yeah, mundane really does fit his character ability.
So, if you were to pull over and go check out and go talk to these cops, you hypothetically have a chance of convincing them of something, but they also may be pod monsters and you may be putting your life in danger as well.
Or skin changing alligator people.
Mm-hmm. So it's your call, Sam. What's it going to be? Ramming speed, come to a stop and talk to them, or other?
How many lanes is this road?
It's two lane highway.
Okay.
So there's some shoulder, but it's rough shoulder. So I would say that if you did want to try to scoot around on the side, you could avoid, the crashing problem
Right.
but you may break the van as well.
Maybe, I don't know. My immediate thought was to try and do a U-turn and just turn around, slow down to about 10 miles per hour, and
So-
just pull a U-turn and just turn
In my
around.
head, what we've been doing already is like we're having this conversation in real time.
Yeah.
So we've gone like 2 miles an hour.
That's how slow we're going.
So yeah, there is a cop car behind you at this point, and there's a parked car in front of you blocking the road. So you can only stall for so long.
Well,
we should. I think I gotta talk to the cops, guys. I don't think that we're gonna be able to escape.
okay.
We have to come clean with them.
All right.
All right.
How does Jake feel about that?
So
Knowing that they're pod people.
Do we know?
I mean,
I think Jake would probably think that they're pod people. Why else would they just be right there, man? Right after we grab this thing? Think about it.
no, I do think about it, Jake. You know, I think about everything you tell me, but we can't. I don't want to kill you guys. There's no such thing as throne clear.
all right. So let's see. So Jason can mark an experience for his failure, and also mark an experience for going to face them alone.
Okay.
And if I don't know if anybody's gotten 5 experience points yet, but when you do, you can get an improvement. But I bet you guys are close.
4.
I only got like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I only have 1.
Jason's at 4 now with this 2 experience.
Okay.
When I fucked up trying to hit that kid with the shotgun butt, that was my 1 experience last game.
All right. So Jason P. Bourne says, "Don't worry, I'll check it out," and gets out of the car. And the 2 sheriffs are like, hands in the air, get down on the ground, and they're shouting at him. And so Jake and Principal Dandelions are in the car, and you guys hear this as you complete your severing ritual, and the cocoon ceases to glow.
Okay.
And you see the girl inside, kind of like, you see her eyes kind of looking around, and she's kind of like in the goop in the middle, and she looks like she's starting to freak out,
Okay.
trapped inside this thing.
Yep.
Jake, why don't you take the lead here and take a move, since Ryan led the way with his psychic deconnection.
So like we're still in the back of the van.
Mm-hmm. And you can hear the police stuff going on outside, but you see that the girl is now struggling to stay alive inside of this chrysalis, and you got to get her out somehow.
All right, so Jake's going to knock on the crystal, just make sure he has her attention. He probably already does.
Oh yeah. It's not comforting.
I don't know if you can hear me, but we're gonna get you out of here, man.
She doesn't look too good, and whatever was keeping her in like stasis is no longer doing that. So you think that she's basically like starting to drown in goo.
The Principal Dan, do you have any more magic you can do here?
Yeah, I was going to use
Okay.
magic to, or even just like if we have like a tire iron in the back of this thing.
Oh yeah, you guys have like shovels, golf clubs, knives, all the things you need to not be creepy guys in a van.
Yeah. I would grab a hatchet off of the side of the running boards in the back. Just start hacking into this thing, trying to maybe tell her to like, all right, now push, like put your arms up, push yourself against the cocoon as best you can, and I'll just start trying to carefully hack into this thing and trying to at least crack it so we can get
All right.
her head out at the very least.
She braces herself. You can roll tough. Jake, are you going to get it on this action, or you want to do something about what's the outside situation?
See, we're rolling tough on this.
Yeah, it would be tough to wail on the cocoon.
Like, is this an assist roll or?
No, you can roll your own tough roll.
All right, I'll roll tough.
Okay.
All right. What do you grab from the arsenal?
What was in the arsenal again?
A bunch of like makeshift weapons and sporting gear and utilities. Just pick something.
I'll grab like I'll assume there's a crowbar in there.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll tough, and Ryan roll tough.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so you, Ryan, what did you say you grabbed again? A hatchet?
A hatchet, just to get it split.
All right. So
Like one of those shitty Walmart hatchets.
Yep.
all right. So you wail on this thing a couple of good hacks, and you kind of chip, and like splat in there, and the goo sort of splats out at you as you kind of like break into the soft interior.
Gross, man.
You don't you manage to not hit the girl in the process, but the goo splats on you and it starts to burn. You take one harm from the sticky goop that's like acid. And Jake, likewise, you see like Principal Dan like cracks into that thing. You get your crowbar in there and you like pop open a big chunk of it, and you get splattered as well with a little bit of this acid goo for one harm. But you guys are like have an opening that's big enough to pull the girl out, and you start like grabbing her, and it's like slop is going everywhere, and she's like. Cut to Jason Bourne, who the cops are like, get down on the ground, hands behind your head, down on the ground.
Yes, sir. Anything you say, officers. Thank you for your service. Hey, we got a real situation in the back of my truck. Man, do you guys know like a hazmat team? Can you call one of those real quick?
So why don't you go ahead and roll charm, which is your best. I'll click it for you. +2.
Okay.
Here we go. 12.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. All right. All right. So this is like borderline use of your trust me power, but we'll kind of play into it a little bit here. So you are trying to protect a normal person from harm, and you are telling them the truth. So you're asking them for like hazmat, like medical, like they when you okay. Let's say this. So you're like, oh, we got a situation, and one of the sheriffs, he gets a little closer to you, and he's like, all right, you got one chance here. Tell me what's going on. And you think that he really is believing you and will help you, but he's not. You got to think through about how you want this to go.
This girl was imprisoned by her boyfriend in some weird ass, like weirder than the weirdest pornography anyone's ever seen, kind of alien goo stuff. Alien's a strong word, but it's definitely something real gross. It's like poisonous or toxic, and so we tried to rescue her because we're just good citizens doing our best. And she's stuck in there, man. We got to get her out. It's like full of chlorine or something. It's way worse than the Britney Spears fantasy perfume Rufinol Hawaiian punch cocktail that you might have heard of.
He says, so this girl needs help, and she's in the back of your van. And if I open that van, there's I'm not going to be I'm not going to be surprised by what I see. I'm going to see what you said, goop in a girl, and she's trapped and needs our help, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't reveal your lizard tongue face to my buddy back there, you'll be just fine. We're trying to help her, but we got to get a hazmat team because honestly, in all my years of custodial artisanal ship, I never seen nothing like this. It's something that it's like it smells like a pool ate another swimming pool.
All right. He says, "All right, get up. This guy, you haven't seen him before, but he's wearing a sheriff's uniform. He's from the same county. You see on his badge, it says Deputy Green." And then he's like, "All right, get up." And you see him look over to the town sheriff that you did meet before, and she's looking at this situation like she's still got her gun out, and she's like, "I don't know about this, Chuck. This doesn't seem right." And the deputy he says, "Okay," he points to you and he says, "Open up the back of the van," and he's got his gun ready.
Okay. So then, very slow, like kind of painfully, slowly, Jason P. Bourne opens up the back of the van.
Meanwhile, you're hearing what's going on in there of them like some clattering and some splashing and like them like grunting, and you hear like, "Oh God, oh."
Yeah, and so like and so Jason B. Bourne like turns and is like, "This is not like a bukkake thing. Like I know this looks weird, but trust me, it's only really weird, but not sexual." I don't think.
He's like, "You're really not helping your case."
I appreciate that advice.
All right. So he opens up the back, and Ryan, you guys pull the girl out of the cocoon. What's happening? What do you when you see the sheriff and Jason P. Bourne opening up the back? What do they witness to?
I think that we probably each have like an arm hooked under one of her arms, and we're trying to. I figure I envision the cocoon is sort of head, like the head of the cocoon is towards the back door, and then as we were using the door as actual like a brace to like pull her out, like as some leverage, and then Jason goes and opens the door. And the three of as we like pull her out of this cocoon, the three of us just fall out onto the highway or onto this road. And I see the sheriff that we've seen before, and I say, "Oh, of course it had to be you."
So yeah, you guys fall out the back of the van in a big gush of goop, and you're all wet and slippery and sticky. But the girl, most importantly of all, she falls out, and you guys kind of like manage to help her not hurt herself as she falls, right. And she's just wet and slimy. But alive and breathing, and she's like, oh, thank you, and she turns to the sheriff and she's like, "You gotta get me out of here, you gotta help me." And the sheriff's like, whoa, all right. So he says, he looks at the three of you and he says, don't go nowhere, all right? And he takes the girl and brings her back to the car, and the sheriff and the three of them go talk for a moment, and they get a blanket for the girl, and they're kind of talking amongst themselves as you guys sort of get your bearings and can make a plan.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
Have you managed to talk to her? Like, have you asked her any questions yet, or is this the first moment you pulled her out?
Yeah, we literally just got her out, so we haven't had a chance to talk to her yet.
But she did seem grateful for your guys' saving her, and she did seem like normal.
Well, that's good.
If like freaked out.
Yeah.
Natural.
Should we go talk to her real quick?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen right now. We might want to let the cops kind of clean her up and talk to her a little bit before we.
All right.
Sheriff will be on our side now.
Yeah, I think we just need to let them kind of talk to her for the moment, and then we can talk to them after they talk to her.
You asked if who was still alive?
Tim.
Yeah, he's still alive. The forestry guy?
Forestry guy?
Yeah, he's still alive. You guys send him back to the motel.
We could also swing back by the hotel then too.
Is there a way that we can like heal in this?
Yeah, you just need to spend some time doing like first aid. Unless you have more than 4 harm.
Okay.
So maybe it's a trip back to Tim and rest at the hotel for a little bit then. Assuming we get some information out of this girl first.
Yep. No, we got Pacific Rim at first.
Oh, that's right.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and use the magic to see if I can get any residual sort of information off of this thing, so I can maybe get some locating. Maybe if there's any type of connection left to the source. Just trying to figure out if I can figure out where it's kind of.
All right, and I think we established that you could use like weird instead of sharp for investigating this sort of thing when you're using your telepathy.
Yep.
And he has his magic purple turban on.
Okay, so Ryan, you can go ahead and roll weird as you try to connect to this cocoon. Oh, 7. Okay, right on the nose. So you see him sort of investigating and getting his fingers into the entrails of this thing. Jake and Jason P. Bourne, Jake is the kind of the sharp one of the two of you. And, you know, you look back at the cops and you think that you're not totally out of the woods yet. Why don't you read a bad situation by rolling sharp?
See, sharp is 2.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So
9.
9. Okay.
Got a 9. All right. So you can get the answer to one of these questions as you look at the situation and think that the sheriffs are not necessarily going to just let you walk away.
Right.
So could the what's my best way out, could that be kind of towards, you know, like what's the best way out of like this situation, getting away from these cops?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay. So you're going to get a +1 to getting out if you act on the information that you receive here. So what you notice is that the two sheriffs seem to have very different dispositions. And the deputy who was nice to Jason P. Bourne, you also now get a good vibe from him. And he seems to be acting in the interest of the girl and that willing to maybe like, you know, at least hear you guys out when it comes to like why this looks so bad. But the sheriff, she seems to be of a very different disposition and like more hard-lined. And you think that the best way out would probably be to exploit this difference between the two of them, or by either like, you know, turning them against each other or like escalating it and escaping. But you know that if you straight up escape, then the police will be after you. Like if you just run away with no explanation, the police will come after you.
Right.
So what do you think about that? What is Jason P. Bourne doing while while Dandelions is searching for connections through the cocoon? You're also next to the cocoon, and or you can wait for the next plan here.
No, Jason P. Bourne wants to like touch the fluid in the like, because he didn't hear that it was dangerous or anything. He wants to like scoop a little bit of the acid from the cocoon onto his Swiss Army knife and put it in his pool testing kit and kind of see what happens.
Okay. You know, you
To
get
see
close.
if it's the same stuff that Tim gave us.
All right. So you can roll investigate, which is sharp.
So
you know,
I'm +1 on that.
Okay. You do know, like, you figure out pretty darn quickly that, like, you get you scoop it up with your knife and a tiny bit gets on your thumb and you feel it like it burns and you're like, ow, fuck. It doesn't hurt you enough to, like, really hurt you, but you take that up. It's fairly obvious. And then when you put it into your pool testing kit, you roll sharp, and you get a 7. So yeah, you feel pretty sure that this is the same stuff as the sap that Tim showed you, but you also can tell that, like, the inside of this sort of cocoon structure is a little different than the outside of it. Like that you think that this inside stuff is not the hardening kind of sap, but what makes up the exterior is. But they are both, like, organic materials that are like so. Oh, and I forgot, you can I've just been blabbing on. You get a question. What is happening? What sort of creature? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what's being concealed here?
Where did it go?
All right. I think Ryan rolled investigation, and he's looking at this from a different angle, but looking for similar things. So Ryan, maybe you guys can decide between the two of you what question you want answered. While you're searching for information, he's investigating as well.
Well, if we have maybe what can hurt it, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Is
It
that
probably
in
makes...
addition to also locating it, or...
So you're essentially trying to get the where did it go question with your kind of attempts to contact it. And I think that makes the most sense for you to be able to pick up on its location. Mm-hmm. And it would make more sense for Jason Bourne to ask the, like, what can hurt it kind of question with his, like, lab kit.
With my high-tech chemistry work.
Right.
Yep.
Just don't tell me it's water.
Yeah.
Okay. You let's see. So Dandelions reaches out with his mind at the latent connections with this creature, and you think you have a general sense that not too far from where you were in the forest, that there are two kind of points of, like, where there's a strong signal. You're not totally sure exactly where they are, but you think that, like, you now have something to go on, and that you can sort of tune into this frequency in your mind to get kind of hot, cold reading on where this thing is. Okay. But you do sense two locations in the forest.
Okay. I think I would also probably break off a piece of the hard outside of this cocoon, just a small chunk of it, kind of clean off the acid goop as best I can, and just sort of keep it as sort of like a, I don't know, something to refocus on later, like as we're actually searching.
Okay. And Jason Bourne, you run some tests with your chemistry on it, and you sense that this is an organic creature, and that it's you think that it is not especially resistant to anything, but it is not especially harmed by anything. But, you know, it's an organic creature, so the things that harm organic creatures can harm this. So whether that's fire, acid, knives. You think that as an organic creature, you think that it is harmable.
All right.
But you don't detect any specific weaknesses based upon the samples that you have.
Okay.
So you guys work on that. Bryant, what's going to be your answer as to like, you see that the sheriffs have this divide between them, and you guys are in a bit of a sticky pickle, and your two compatriots are both like looking kind of suspicious as they're digging through this cocoon and running tests and stuff. And the sheriffs definitely have turned their attention back at you guys, and seeing the kind of weirdness, the two of them are like about to come back over and start asking tough questions.
So they've talked to the girl.
Yeah, they talked to the girl, and the experimentation kind of caught their eye, and so now they're moving towards you guys, and you need to kind of think about like, all right, how am I going to use this information to get out of here?
Okay. All right. Well, so I'm sure if you talk to that girl, she'll kind of attest to that there's some weird purple alien plant people situation going on in this town. And my two friends and I, we have a license for this. It's just not for this state. we're totally credible. You can see my friends over there, like they're doing the science of it all, and we needed to get to the bottom of this and determine like what's going on here, or else more people in this town are going to end up like that girl, even worse.
So let's see. You've got,
and I'm also kind of focusing on talking to the one who Sam was able to convince.
yeah.
Kind of making eye contact with him during all this.
Like right now, it sounds like you want to take the rational angle, try to convince them. So if you want to do that, you can roll charm and try to get on the side of this deputy.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'll roll charm. And then, so I have +1 charm, and then I go to the +1 from.
Yeah, from your reading the situation.
All right. Charm +2.
Yeah. Nice.
Got 11.
11. That's really good.
All right. So you start to explain of like we have a license and it's in another state and the
it's totally credible.
Totally credible. So the sheriff is just like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. You guys have been in trouble from the moment you walked into town, and now this proves it. You are at the scene of a crime. You have a victim of the crime, and there's no way I'm letting you walk out of here on your own. And the deputy, he kind of is like, wait, hold on. Let's hear him out. From what I can tell, the girl and his story, doesn't make any sense, but it does line up. So just one more time, who are you guys and what are you doing here? Bryant, Jake, to answer that question.
Well, we he's kind of stammering here. It's like, well, I have you can check out my YouTube channel and podcast, the Knights of Paranormal Activism and Other Higher Mysteries. And like I said, we have a license from the state of to investigate this kind of things, and then we may be working out of state here, but this is an exceptional situation. From we were informed from our Tim in the Forest Service, and yeah, we're just trying to do our bit here to protect your town.
And the sheriff just says, I can't believe you're listening to this nonsense. They're obviously criminals. and they abducted this girl. Like, how could you possibly think anything else? Like, did you hear the madness that just came out of his mouth? And the detective, he says, there's no doubting that these folks are strange, and I don't know that I totally believe this story at all, but I think that you've done a good thing here, and you've helped this girl, and but I might recommend that the three of you leave town. This is a local matter, and I don't want to see you boys getting on the wrong side of the law here. So there's
Totally. We'll get out of town.
And the sheriff just says, you see her kind of have a little internal conflict with herself, like she kind of thinks about what to say, and she says, "I don't ever want to see the three of you again." And she sort of storms off in a huff, and the deputy says, "I wouldn't." She gets like this sometimes. It's not a big deal. I'll make sure that this girl she gets home.
No, you can't do that.
Jason Bourne, you guys can jump in here.
Officer, with all due respect, she might have to see us again. We have to, her best friend is missing, and I think that my colleague, the wonderful Jake the Rake, kind of undersold himself as the
she's just skin changing alligator person.
Yeah, Jake, come on. We are legitimate paranormal investigators / custodial artists, and there's this young woman's best friend has been kidnapped by people that will put her in a similar, pardon the pun, sticky situation. And Jason laughs at that. He really likes that. But we got to get back into town, and we got to save this young life.
All right. You all kind of get this sense that the sheriff is kind of on the warpath, and the deputy is kind of torn between his duties and obligations and this situation, what the right thing is to do. So he, the sheriff steps away and goes to her own car for a moment, and the deputy, he looks back at the girl that's in his car, and he says, "I don't know if I can I don't want to cause any trouble here, and you all seem well-meaning and all, but I don't know about all this. So you guys think that if you were to do nothing, he's going to take the girl in his car and he's going to go back to town with the sheriff and going to get tied up in this whole thing. But if you want otherwise, you're going to have to kind of convince him to turn on the sheriff unless you guys have another idea. And that's kind of a tough sell.
Well, what if we go back to the hotel to get our stuff and we get Tim, tell Tim what's going on, and then we just kind of do it, we just ask the sheriff if we can go back into town and get our stuff from the hotel.
And also to be clear that to let either of the cops know that you cannot take her back home. Her parents are the ones that did this to her.
Yeah.
She's who we took her from. And I'll even grab what's left of the chrysalis inside of the van, and I'll throw it out into the middle of the road. Just be this is what we pulled her out of. I think that you both are not understanding the gravity of the situation, what's happening right now. You may not understand it, but this is what we pulled her out of. And I'd like to use telepathy to convince both of them that we're involved with something that you don't understand, and is like very serious, and we have to be allowed to take care of it.
All right. So perhaps so why don't so Jason Bourne was kind of working the charm angle. So we'll have him roll charm, and Dandelions, you can telepathize you're trying to telepathize both the deputy.
Specifically the female deputy, because she's the one that's like been on our ass since we came into town for literally no reason. Like,
Okay,
we have not given you a reason to be acting like this towards us. We haven't.
Getting changing alligator person. That's why.
If that's the case, I'll put a bullet in her head.
Okay, so why don't you roll weird to telepathize the sheriff, and I'll do charm for Jason Bourne here.
Okay.
Ho ho!
Hey, there we go.
So Ryan rolled a 12 and Jason Bourne rolled a 10.
Wow.
Both the things that they are really excellent at. All right. All right. First of all, Sam. So Jason is talking to the sheriff, trying to get him to hear reason, and he says, I don't see any problem with y'all going and getting your things from the motel and being on your way, but I don't know about all this. He says, how about if there is a threat to her from her family, how I can take that seriously, and I can take her to the hospital in the next town over, and get her the medical help that she needs, and she'll be safe from whatever threat is, and if there is if her family is part of the problem, then she'll need to tell us and the other sheriffs about that. Is that acceptable to you?
Yeah, that works for us, Sheriff. We sure thank you for your service again. Boy, well, I mean, you're the law, so you would know how to do this, but you should go ahead and call Paranormal CYFB.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, just so you know, it's a very real organization that Jake can tell you all about it, but
we're totally accredited. Totally accredited.
And Ryan, you tap into the mind of the sheriff, the female sheriff, to try to kind of like sway her thoughts. Mm-hmm. And you immediately get a flashback of this powerful force that you had encountered in the Chrysalis. And you think that she is under its control.
Got it.
And so like at that kind of flash, you see she like turns at you and like looks you dead in the eye. I'll have my body sort of tilted in a way that the other cop can't see it. But Dandelions always has a 38 tucked into his belt, and I'll just lift up my shirt to show her the gun, and then put it back down, and just lock eyes with her. She draws.
Great. So do I.
Okay. Roll tough.
Man,
roll tough.
Okay. I really wanted to throw a coffee cake at her as we drove off. Yell out wild card. But now she can die.
All right. So,
all
right.
Dan has poor impulse control.
So, this is the first time you guys have actually done a good job fighting. He got a 10. So, if you roll 10, you get one extra effect. You can take +1 forward or give +1 forward to another hunter. You can do an extra point of harm You can suffer less harm, and you can force them where you want them.
I want her. Did she make any noise? Because I basically want her to holster her gun and drive away. Can I?
Jump off
Can
a
I
bridge.
force them where you want them? I can force her to like.
No,
don't do it.
it's more like get her to take cover behind your car, because she drew her gun and you drew your gun, and you're gonna both shoot each other. So you can so you're gonna take damage from her gunshot, but you can suffer less harm if you want.
Oh, okay.
Or you can take it and force her to take cover, or you can give the advantage to one of your fellow compatriots to join the fight.
Oh, okay.
So
either way, I'm gonna get shot right now.
Yes,
that's how this is going down. Okay.
Yes.
So force them where she wants. Is she still going to shoot me if I force her where I want her, or will she forego an attack and take cover?
So, for example, you could prevent her from taking cover, and get her to be more exposed for when others attack her.
Okay.
But it's a little bit situational.
Right.
It might be simpler to just give a bonus to someone, or take cover yourself, and suffer less harm.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna suffer less harm is what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So you've got principal dandelions, 2 harm, close, reload that. Okay, cool. So you're gonna take 1 harm, and you're gonna deal her 2 harm.
Okay.
As you're blam, 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 you lay a few shots at her, and she starts shooting at you, and everyone else who didn't see this gunfight coming, is scrambling for cover and whoa, fuck. So, all right. So, Bryant, what does Jake do once the fighting breaks out?
This basically just confirms to Jake that she is definitely a skin-changing alligator person, and Jake's gonna just
and dandelions may have relayed to you guys in the fray. Ryan, it's up to you. You want to shout she's one of them?
Yeah, I would say yeah, she's one of them.
Yeah. Okay, everyone's on the page now.
All right.
I guess I'll draw my 9mm and take out that alligator lady.
Sam?
I guess what's his name? Jason's gonna duct tape his Swiss Army knife to the back of his mop, because that's his weapon of choice. And it's the last line of defense at this point, because he's not really gonna do too good of a job in fighting here.
Yeah, and you think that if you pop your head out, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you want to go off by yourself.
No. He's gonna just kind of bunker down behind the car and expect to death pretty soon with his homemade spear.
All right. So you take cover, Bryant. All right. So you bust out your gun.
Okay.
And blam, 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 and the sheriff is shooting at you. And the deputy.
The power of heart, though.
What's that, Sam?
Can I use the power of heart?
Oh yeah, if you want. Help someone.
Yeah, I'm gonna help Jake.
Nice.
Let's see. I don't think that's gonna make a difference right this moment, but good effort.
All right.
You'd have to get over 10 to get something good. So Jake, you take a position. You're firing at the sheriff. You do her 2 harm, and she does you 2 harm as well as you guys exchange fire. And you're like, got a pretty nice bullet hole in your shoulder, and you're like, oh god. But you see that the sheriff, she's been shot twice now, and like she's like, you think that she's like pretty much a pile of blood back behind that car at this point. And she does not pop her head back up after that exchange. And the deputy, he's got his gun out and he's like, what the fuck just happened? And he's looking at you guys and he's like, why did you shoot her?
She shot us. She shot first.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure what happened there.
Well,
She's one of them, man. Check out the YouTube channel.
I'll ask him, do you remember what I'll try and like talk him down. Like, do you remember the sound of the first gunshot?
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between a 38 and a 9mm?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, which one of those was the first shot?
He's like, why would she do that?
Because of what I said. She's one of them. She's one of
them,
one of
man.
the creatures that put that girl in that cocoon.
What are these things?
We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Why is this happening here? This shouldn't be happening.
I know, I agree, but we appreciate your help here in this matter. I know this is not how you expect your day to go, but here we are.
He's like,
I'm gonna tuck my gun back. I'll put my hands up and like tuck my gun back into my waist and put my hands up.
Yeah, he lowers his gun and he's like, I don't know. So you guys can think about like, you think that his instinct is going to be to bail and like not be here, but you guys can try to convince him otherwise. The sheriff back behind the car, you think is seriously wounded but not dead, and the girl, she's in the sheriff's car, freaked out. So what course of action is next?
I think we need to figure out if this. I think my thought is that the guy that we're talking to, I think he needs to get the girl and that cop to the hospital. Well,
and the sheriff?
I think so, because if we can go, I mean, if the sheriff is like essentially bleeding out at this point, like she can't really interfere with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So at least if we can go take care of the source of the monster, infection here, potentially that could sever the connection, or I could try and use magic to sever the connection right now, but I think probably the gunshots are probably the more pressing matter. We don't want to have to kill a cop if we don't have to.
That's true.
Or I could just put a bullet in her head and be done with it. I could honestly do either.
Jason Bourne, weigh
in. Jason Bourne's not for killing a cop. He's probably for... He's gonna want to do the... What should I say? He's gonna want to send the cop to the hospital. So we should load him up, load her and the girl in the deputy's hospital, in the deputy's car, and send him to the hospital.
Yep.
And what about the fact that you know she's a pod person? Like, how can you be sure that she's not going to pod these people?
I got an idea. Duct tape.
Duct tape?
Duct tape her mouth closed.
Oh, that's a good idea. We can duct tape her mouth closed, and then we can also put some of the ceiling goo that's all on the street now around her ham.
Oh, or we could just cuff her. I mean, they just take her cuffs off and cuff her.
She could still vomit and spray. But yeah, definitely duct tape her mouth.
All right, let's do it. We'll duct tape her mouth, handcuff her, and that'll be that.
All right. I think that's reasonable. The deputy is just like, oh God, I don't know how I'm going to explain this. This is ridiculous. This is too much. But he's kind of going along with it, and he's like, he cuffs the sheriff and who's actually going to cuff the sheriff and duct tape her mouth?
I'm on the verge of death. I will die soon. I'm getting close to dying.
How many harm do you have?
I have 3 points of harm left before I'm dying.
So I think you guys have 7 total, right?
Yeah. I have 3 harm right now.
Yep.
So Ryan, so if you're at 4, that means that you need to go to the hospital too, or else get medical help of a serious nature.
I don't know. I'll ask the cop do you have a first aid kit?
He looks at you and he's like, I don't know if first aid's going to help you right now. You need a doctor. All right. So, so if you guys bandage up Dandelion, you could theoretically stabilize him, and then he'll be just kind of messed up for a little bit until he gets a chance to rest. Or you can go to the hospital, or you can use magic.
Ooh, I could use magic to try and close up some of these wounds. Maybe get the bullet out.
Yeah, but you're going to be at a disadvantage to try and heal yourself with magic because you're bleeding out right now.
Anybody else have any weird?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you can also use a luck to negate all harm from a single attack.
Yeah, can I sort of retcon that a little bit and do that?
Yeah, that might make sense. You're down 2 luck now.
Yeah, 2 luck.
So yeah, that would be your other choice.
Great. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. We'll say that the bullet is sort of kind of pretty shallow, like it hit like a bone or something and stopped, and I'm able to like get like a.
But didn't you only take 1 harm from that bullet?
I did, but it put me over.
It
put me over into 4 instead of 3.
And
I figure if I don't use luck now, then when am I going to use it?
Yeah.
Well, just keep in mind that taking 1 harm is not nearly as bad as like it can be, because like larger weapons and things like that deal like 3 or 4 at a go. So I might settle for just getting healed up by first aid now. Like first aid could get you back to 3.
Okay. Yeah, let's do first aid.
Especially because you didn't take all your damage from 1 go. So yeah, if you guys spend some time now and use the first aid kit from the van, and everyone can get bandaged up and get healed 1 wound, that I think that's acceptable.
Okay.
But back to my question of who's gonna tie up the sheriff.
Oh, Jason P. Bourne will.
I'll help him.
All right. So yeah,
it's roles that we need to
Do you
do.
have any protective eyewear or like tarps in the van?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like the kind of thing you guys would have.
Yeah.
We're custodial artists.
Yeah.
Homemade hazmat suit.
Yeah, maybe get like a bucket of sawdust, so in case she turns and tries to like goop you, you could just throw the sawdust in her face, and hopefully that would stop the goop.
Well, let's say that Jason Bourne gets some goggles and a tarp and some help from Jake, and given that she is wounded, that's enough to you get over towards her and she's bleeding out and like kind of on the verge of death. And when you get close, she does spray some goop out of her mouth, but you catch it on the tarp, and are able to get in there with the cuffs before the tarp melts, and so I think that's you got enough on your side there to tie her up.
Don't forget the duct tape.
And you duct tape her mouth and put her in the back of the sheriff's car. So the deputy. He helps you guys out. He's got some first aid kit in his car too, so everyone can heal one harm, and as everyone gets bandaged up, the sheriff, the deputy, sheriff, and the girl, they get ready to go, and the girl is just like, "Oh, thank you, strangers, for your help. I appreciate it." And the deputy is like, I better get these folks out of here. Last chance to ask them anything.
Is there anything we want to know from the girl?
Yeah, I would say so. Let's see.
Oh,
We definitely
yeah,
ask
we
her.
should ask about Fanny.
All right. One of you can investigate her.
Would it be a charm or a sharp? roll?
Sharp.
I'll ask her. It's like, what? Can you tell us anything about your friend Fanny? Like, do you know like what happened to her? Or, like where they might have taken her?
Okay. Go ahead and roll sharp.
No.
She tells you kind of things that you already knew, like she kind of she was acting kind of weird, and I thought she was gonna run away with Finny, and I've been trying to find her, and I tried to organize a search party, and it just didn't go anywhere, and I don't know what to tell you. So she's not super helpful, but she tries, but she's just not that helpful.
I'll give her one of my packaged coffee cakes for the effort.
All right, you should take an experience point as well.
Oh yeah, I did.
All right, so you guys are left on the road, bandaged up now, and heading back to the hotel. So future Mike here, just needed to point out that they shot the sheriff, but they did not shoot the deputy. So you guys go back to the hotel and rest up, and can heal one more harm from getting a good night's sleep and a little bit of time to heal.
Can I, while we're like resting and everything, can I use my net friends ability to see if I can maybe just kind of again try to contact some friends, see if we can find out any more information on maybe help for dealing with these things?
Yeah. So the net friends is so you want to think of like something that you want to ask them to do. If they're just let's see. So just finding out information, you're probably in a better situation than they are to find out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want them to hack something, fix something, break something, or something like really special, if you can kind of think of what you would, what
I'm gonna have them hack the town's police station in case there's any more police that are pod people.
Okay.
See if they can like break down like their communication with any other outlying law enforcement.
All right, that sounds good. So go ahead and roll charm.
Be right back. I'm gonna go into the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, me too. Okay. So they say that's
Planet.
hack the planet. All right, so they tell you that that's kind of a big job. They say that you're either going to have to provide them with some serious resources, or you're going to have to get into the sheriff's office yourself and try to stick something in their router. Which route do you want to go? Providing them some resources, or do a sneak into the sheriff's office?
Jason, you want to go on a mission?
You know it.
All right.
All right. So I'll be right back, and then we'll resolve that. So Jake's idea of hacking the sheriff's department, so you have kind of a couple of options. One would be to rest and recover, and then go and take this on, or to go out now and before you can have a chance to recover, and potentially, I suppose what you'd be gaining would be getting ahead of the monsters and getting out in front of the problem. But we'd have to walk back that whole healing up an extra one overnight.
Hmm.
So you do know that the sheriff and the deputy are both, indisposed at the moment. So you think that this would be an easy time to hack the sheriff's department, but you're also kind of beat up and hurt and stuff, and so it's a matter of whether you want to push it or not.
I say we push it.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay.
Especially if we have this awesome plan of letting petting zoo animals.
Okay, so roll back that the second harm that you guys healed, and just give me a cool roll, Jake, +2, as Jason Bourne helps you, and you have the benefit of the cops being away.
So it'll be +2.
Uh-huh.
Right, so that'll basically be +1 for me then.
You rolled 8.
No, that was from earlier. Rolled. Oh god.
How? 5, technically.
You roll a 1 and a 1 +2.
No, the 1 and a
Well,
2.
Well, I have a -1 cool, so the +2 would just give me +1, right?
Oh, right. Okay. All right. So, the three of you go to the sheriff's office at night, knowing that they're away, while Jake is he's got their router, he's got his little USB key, and he's trying to get things together. You see another deputy turns on the lights and goes, "What the hell are you guys doing in here?"
Oh, just
For IT.
filing up. Yeah, I'm cleaning. We're just cleaning. I'm cleaning.
I don't think so. You guys are under arrest.
We're under arrest.
Are you gonna do it? You're under arrest.
You're under arrest.
This deputy caught you guys red-handed in this place. Not gonna easily back down. What's it gonna be?
Pep, what should we do?
You could try to knock him out with magic.
Yeah, I think I'd probably try and knock him out with magic. And then could I use magic to try and knock him out, and then, or at least temporarily, for even a short period of time, and then also use my hex to have him contract a disease?
One thing at a time here. So basic magic can deal 1 harm, or can incapacitate someone for a round, basically.
Okay.
or
I think that's
it
probably what
allows
I'd
you to
wanna
like do a thing that's beyond human limitations, or something like that.
do. Yeah, I think I'd probably incapacitate him for a round.
All right, give your weird roll. As everyone looks at each other and goes,
Okay.
Nice.
okay. All right, so choose a glitch for your spell, which is one of these things.
Okay. I would say the effect is of a short duration.
Okay.
I want him just for a second, just maybe kind of like passes out for a second, and then that has. Okay.
All right, so Dandelion's, channels his psychic ability, and the sheriff goes but somebody else needs to act right now.
All right, Jake plants whatever he needs to do in the modem router or whatever, and then just takes off running out of the police station with his hands in the air, like. Ah!
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Jake finishes the mission. It's up to Jason Bourne to save the day.
Wait, so the deputy just did what?
So the deputy is has a really bad headache, basically. And he's clutching he's clutching his head. He's immobilized for a moment, but you need to keep him immobilized if you want to get out of here.
So he's not actually knocked out or incapacitated. We actually need to
Yeah.
room or something.
Yeah, so Brian, if you want to, you can change if you want, but it's a fair choice to complete the mission. It just means that Jason Bourne needs to save the day in order to get you guys out of here.
Instead of completing the mission, I have a watchman's flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to use it to knock him out?
Yeah, if you want to roll tough.
Okay. Well, you have thoughts, Ryan?
Oh, no, I was just saying that when I was using my magic there, I was also trying to use my hex move. It says when you cast a spell with used magic as well as the normal effects, you may pick from the following.
Okay.
What I wanted to ask was if I could. One of the things is the target contracts a disease, and I wanted to give him temporary blindness, if that would be considered a disease.
Okay, when you cast
Give him severe glaucoma.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
I give him vertigo.
Hey, that's good.
Intense vertigo.
Okay. I'll allow that. So it's you blind the deputy, and he is clutching his head, but he's also screaming "Oh God, what's going on? I can't help me, someone!"
All right, and then like I said, I'm gonna run up and try to knock him out with my flashlight.
All right,
and then I'm just gonna use luck.
All right. You spend a luck, and you go clonk, and the deputy goes down. Everyone exchanges an awkward glance, and then you can finish the mission. Sam, you have anything to add?
Discord just kind of starts crying a little bit. This has been a big day for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not too happy about it.
Full on outlaws.
Yeah. So he wiping tears from his eyes, bends down and then takes the handcuffs and keys from the officer.
Mm-hmm.
But not the gun. He doesn't want to touch the gun. But can I think? Yeah.
Go ahead.
He wants the handcuffs. He's gonna take the handcuffs because he figures that we're gonna have to arrest someone in the near future for being an alien or whatever.
Yeah. You gonna take a badge too to arrest them with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are sheriff uniforms in the sheriff's office if you want to steal them.
Yeah, let's do it. We definitely look like sheriff for sure.
Is everyone on board with dressing up like sheriffs?
This is a very small town.
People do know
That's
who
it.
the sheriffs are. This is true.
We'll at least just take them. It might come in handy for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
They
don't have to
they
put
don't
them
have-
on right now.
They don't have there's no outfit in Dandelion's size. It's very, very short.
All right. As you guys get your loot and get ready to go leave the sheriff's station, Bryant, Jake's net friends, they're like, we're in. And they communicate to you that the sheriff up to this point has not reached out for outside help. And has prevented anything from getting out up until now. Mm-hmm. So you think that there's no like help coming at the moment, and that they're like trying to keep this quiet. But now you are you can control the flow of information from the sheriff's department to the outside world. So if you wanted to bring down the hammer, you could call in for help, but you also know that bringing the law in will complicate things for you guys.
No, we don't need G-Man here.
Yeah.
So, but you have that as an option now if you wish.
Okay.
And on your way back from the sheriff's office, you see some lights and some movement going on inside of the motel store. You see like some flashlights moving around, like there's like burglars inside of her.
Oh no. All our stuff is getting burgled by Tim.
Not in your room, in the store, the motel store, where like the front desk was.
Serves him right, I guess. Wait, did we get along with those people?
I mean, not the husband was.
Not the old man, no.
The wife was nice enough, but that's not our problem.
But aren't we trying to find? If we do have sheriff's gear and stuff, we can go arrest someone real quick.
You just want to go arrest someone, don't you?
Yeah. These handcuffs are burned all in my pocket.
All right. So maybe we could pull over if I'd be like, I'll get very fatherly with Jason for a second. I'll be like, all right, you got 2 minutes to go over there and try and arrest those people.
All right. Thanks, Bet. Here we go.
I am not coming with you. I am staying in the van. You have to do this by yourself. If this is what you really want to do.
Jake, do you want to come with me?
What's gonna be, Jake?
Yeah, Jake's down. Okay,
All
just
right.
quad people.
Let's roll out.
All right. So Jason Bourne, let's have you read a bad situation. Let me pull up your sheet here.
Is it tough?
No, read a bad situation is sharp.
Okay. I think I'm +1 sharp.
Yes. All right. You roll a 10. So so you and Sheriff Jake roll up to the front of the motel where the front desk and the store are. And inside you see the people that you recognize. So you see the where are they? So the people who run the store and the motel, Bonnie and Darren. You see that the two of them are splattered with goo on one side of the room, and you see that the Fanny's parents, Joel and Carol, are standing over the people who run the motel inside, and so you think that this is a pod invasion.
Oh no! All right. Well,
So you get a bonus. So you can pick. So you can ask a question of the best way in, the best way out, danger you haven't noticed, biggest threat, vulnerable to you, and the best way to protect the victims. And you're going to get a +1 to enact that in this situation.
I'm gonna go with best way to. No, unseen threat. Actually,
All right. You look around and you try to take stock of things. You notice that Vinny, the boyfriend, is out back, and he's waiting for the parents to the people to finish the job.
oh, I'm glad I saw him.
So you can have a +1 to mitigating his impact or his influence.
Okay. So should we sneak? So like Vinny's hiding out.
He's in the back of the shop, so assumably they're gonna tote these the two people who run the motel. They're gonna take them out the back and take them to go be pod people.
So we should sneak around the back and ambush them when they come out with the pot with the two inn owners.
Sounds good. And then
You
should
can
we
also
alert-
call upon dandelions too
Yeah,
at
I
this
was gonna
point.
say, should we alert principal?
Yeah, we should.
That this is not just a burglary.
Okay.
Not just to be any.
So you guys see the situation, and they're trying to pod these the people that run the motel. And you got Vinny out back, and Dandelions is coming to the rescue in a little bit here. How do you want to attack the problem?
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. That.
I think
Hey,
he's going to. Jason P. Bourne is going to bring his spear made out of a mop handle and pocket knife attached.
naturally.
And yeah, when they the gang pops in around the back, or when the bad guys come around the corner from the outside, is he gonna try and lance him in the Achilles heel, the Achilles tendon?
Which one?
The first one that comes to the door, hopefully Vinny.
So Vinny is outside already.
Oh, so we're gonna try
he-
and sneak up and lance him in the Achilles tendon.
All right. All right. So, Sam, you can gain the advantage and take a +1 forward. You can do 1 extra
Okay.
harm. You can take 1 less harm. Or you can force them where you want them, like position them.
Oh, so Jake, you have a gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to force him where I want him,
Yeah.
and that's right by the door, right where they will come out, so that Jake can take a shot as soon as the next person pops out.
He can take a shot, and the boyfriend Vinny will be in the way of that shot.
Should we kill him now? Do you think we'd kill him if we?
I mean, it's going to take a little
Got
bit
him?
more than. I think it's going to take a little bit more than that to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to kill him, I would just do extra harm to him.
Should we kill him?
If you want to set up a situation, you might want to give someone else a +1.
All right, let me give Jake a +1.
Yeah.
All right. So your mop knife does two harm to Vinny. And he lashes back out at you and does two harm to you with his crowbar. You jab him in the leg, and he flails out at you as well. So yeah, an option for you is also to suffer less harm, is because he gets to do damage to you when you attack him.
Anytime you attack someone, they have a chance to attack you back.
Yes, but if you roll 10 or more, you get one of these effects, which is take one less harm, give a +1 to someone else, or move them somewhere, or do an extra damage. So you could deal 3 damage to him if you wanted to. You could take just 1 instead of 2, or you can give a +1 to Jake.
How much damage do I have?
You have
2, I think.
currently.
So I should only take 1 damage because if I... Well, no, I won't be incapacitated if I take 2 damage, right?
No, but you'll be over the line of like being really hurt.
Crap.
Which and being really hurt means that you like take a -1 to your your shit.
All right, I should take -1 then, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to take -1.
All right. So you take 1 less harm. You deal 2 to Vinny, who's looking not too hot, and so Jake is right behind Jason Bourne. So Vinny's down. He's taken a pretty solid hit, and the door is about to open as the parents of the girl are going to come out and try to capture these newly potted people. What do you want to do, Bryant?
Is Vinny like incapacitated? Like, is he that harmed, or is he still a threat?
He's still a threat. You think a solid hit on him would mean that he'd be down. But more people are going to join the fray. But also, your friend Dandelions is on the way from the car too.
So what's the status with the people that run the hotel? Going on with them?
I'll come to that in a moment.
Okay.
To avoid like being like loud, Jake's gonna use his garrote and strangle Vinny the rest of the way. Which should do 3 harm.
Okay. Let's see, Jake. All right, you getting in there?
Yeah, he's hardcore.
You getting in there hardcore?
Got the piano
right,
string and everything.
Roll tough. All right. So Vinny's gonna get a pretty nice hit on you as you close the distance. So he gets a knife in the back of the leg, and he's kind of down, and he sees you coming, and he wings you with his crowbar for 2 damage, and then you get the garrote around him, and you're like, go to sleep, and Vinny's down.
All right, and then I have like 4 damage, so I'm like super hurt.
Yeah, you're not doing too hot. All right, so Ryan, Dandelions, you get the signal from Jake and Jason that this is a pod people situation to come around. They go around back to take care of Vinny, and looking in the front window, you see the parents of Fanny's parents.
Yeah.
They're taking down the motel owners who are like covered in some goo.
Okay.
So you see them getting ready to like wrap the two people up and take them out the back.
Okay. I want to. I want to use magic. Let me look at that thing I was looking at here. I don't know. Use magic to sort of telekinetically grab the two people inside of the little convenience store, and just, I don't know, try and throw them, like use as much strength as I can to like basically lift them through the building and like throw them up like as high as I can throw them.
Road clear.
The pod people or the people that are taken captive? So you can use magic to try and attack one of them.
Okay, so I'll do that.
And you're trying to pull them out of the store?
Yeah, maybe pull them out and slam them into the side of our van to hopefully incapacitate them.
All right. So you can roll your magic and try and remove them from the situation. All right. So
I also want them to suffer 2 harm. I'm hexing them while I do that.
All right. So you're gonna have to pick a glitch for your magic.
Glitch. I guess the effect is weakened, I guess.
Okay. So
Actually, no, it has a problematic side effect. Sorry.
okay. All right. So you grab one of them and throw them outside the general store, and you are let's see. So you as you do this, you've disrupted gravity and the forces that be, and so you fling this person outside and slam them against the van, but you are like no longer subject to like normal gravity, so you're kind of like floating off of the ground, like a foot off the ground, like
Okay, cool.
So one of them is flung out of the way, and they take 2 harm, and out back, as Jake and Jason Bourne take down Vinny. So you see the door opens. You see the husband of Fanny. I don't think that you guys ever learned his name, but anyway, the man, he's there, and he's like pulling at a person who's covered in goop, and all of a sudden you see his wife like fling out the front of the window and slam outside into the van, and drop the person that she was trying to pod, and he looks and he's like, oh shit, and he sees the two of you out back there. and drops the husband of that was the general store husband, and so you see him ready for action. Sam and Bryant, what do you want to do with this guy?
We should shout at him. We should go, where's Fanny?
That's not effective. He's dedicated to his task.
He's dedicated to attacking? Okay. So... Jake, you still have your gun, right, Jake?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure how I can assist you in shooting this guy, but it seems like can I assist Jake? Can I give him the power of heart?
Yeah.
Give Jake the power of heart.
You can distract him while Jake shoots him.
There we go.
So go ahead and roll.
Power of love.
You go ahead and roll tough, Bryant, +1. Nice. All right. So you take him. Let's move forward. So while he's distracted, Jake lands a pretty solid shot on the husband, Fanny's dad, and the mom is still like stunned in the street from getting thrown against the van, and you guys are able to rescue the owners of the motel from getting potted. As you unstick them from their walls and tie up the Fanny's parents.
Handcuff them with the
handcuffs. Yeah. You handcuff them with the resources that you've come to enjoy as
I give him a high five and a point of inspiration.
Yeah.
Unofficial deputies.
Yeah.
So up to this point, you guys have done a really good job of preventing the pod people from spreading. You've done a good job of like keeping it in check so it doesn't escalate. And you think that now is the time that you're going to need to cut it off from the source.
Yeah, we got to go deal with it.
Yeah. Is that to be continued then?
Sam, you said you had until 6?
Yeah, so I got 7 minutes.
I guess 7 minutes.
Yeah, 6 o'clock my time.
All right. It's up to you guys. If you want to wrap it up or if you want to be continued.
Maybe we could wrap it up. We could wrap it up with like 3 or 4 rolls. Like we'll just do 3 or 4 rolls right now. And, all right, you either did it or you did not do it.
Yeah. So you guys gather up your resources and what you know, and you have the option of either taking on the source or trying to weaken it first. So you know that there are like two like nodes out in the woods, and but Principal Daniels knows that one of them is stronger than the other. So you surmise that that one of the nodes is making the center, the core, the heart of this thing stronger. Mm-hmm. But since they haven't managed to spread and make more and more nodes, you've kept the monster relatively at bay by preventing it from growing its influence. Mm-hmm. So you think that taking on the heart of it is probably the way to go.
Why get weakened by a separate encounter with the weaker spot because we're gonna get hurt either way.
Right.
So we might as well just go try and shut it down from the source.
Yeah. So you discover in the forest after investigating and with Tim's help, finding where the heart of this thing is, kind of deeper in the forest. It has a little lair where, underground, where there's a bunch of like roots and stems and all sorts of kind of like natural growth, augmented by this sort of like alien glowy connections. There's a heart to this thing that is, driving this force, and it is a life form that is, not much larger than a basketball, but it spread its roots into the ground, and you think that it's connected to the life all in the forest around you, and it kind of has slowly started to extend its senses by taking individual people and turning them into essentially like nodes in its network. So in addition to like making pod people, it's also creating like new nodes for it to like spread its power, which you think that was the case with Angela, where they were trying to like kind of like bury her in the ground and turn her into another node that would increase the power of this creature. But you managed to prevent it from becoming so powerful. And it still only has the one node, which was the original Fanny, which was the first victim.
Yeah.
And so when you guys come into this layer, it's this alien globular creature that is connected to the soil and into the earth and into all these plants, and it's sort of like part plant, part alien animal. So you guys can think about like how you might want to take this thing down, and how you might want to approach the situation, and then we'll be done.
You guys want to set a bunch of chemicals on fire from my van?
Yeah, I was just gonna say fire.
Just roll the burning van, van into the cave.
Yeah, we could do that. We could make the van sacrifice the van into a giant car bomb.
Hopefully,
I think that's
Jason's
really
mom has insurance in the van, right?
No, Jason himself he's the only gainfully employed person in this group. Yeah. So we can put on Britney Spears Toxic and just send the van straight into
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll use magic to so instead of just rolling slowly, I'm gonna use magic to just drive as fast as I can get it going, and just ram it into the throat of this cave.
So in a giant fireball, you guys commit the alien creature, whatever it came from, whatever it wanted. No one cares. We just care that it's dead and it's on fire.
America.
America. So well done, gents, and I'll be seeing you guys all tomorrow, I guess, for whatever it is we're gonna do from here on out. But I hope you guys enjoyed Invasion of the Pod Alien People.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. All right, thank you,
All right,
guys.
guys.
See.
Catch y'all later.
Bye.
Later.